really going to be about community building and that group accountability that doesn't often exist in planning processes. Laridae has been supporting the nonprofit sector for over 12 years. Main ways that we do that is through facilitating strategic planning processes with them. And that usually is a one-on-one, us and an organization moving through a fulsome process. So, we've spent quite a bit of time facilitating those actionable strategic planning processes alongside lots of different organizations. Given the landscape across the nonprofit sector, especially for small nonprofits, we're seeing a need to shift the way we do strategic planning. It's really important to keep our eye on the horizon through effective planning, especially when there's so much uncertainty. But there's also the need to really be mindful of cost. And any opportunity to help build up capacity for organizations, especially small organizations, to continue the momentum with planning is really important. In many years, we've done strategic planning, and then also learning what we've learned in delivering our management training program. We've seen such an interesting opportunity with cohort-based programs. And some of that really is that group accountability and that ability to learn from each other, let alone from whoever is providing guidance to the process. So when I look at how typically strategic planning happens, like I said, it's one-to-one, it's us and another organization. We often look at it through the lens of having somebody facilitating the process, and it's a multi-month, really lots of engagement in terms of time and effort from all parties. So this offering is slightly different. We're looking at it from a 4-month view, and it's about building the organization's capacity, facilitating some collaboration with their own organization, but also opening the door to connecting with others and seeing how we can look at the environmental context from a bigger picture. So it's really a self-directed approach with expert guidance, because they will be facilitated processes and there will be some coaching involved. But it's really going to be about community building and that group accountability that doesn't often exist in planning processes. What we've seen in some other programs that we've run is that people are starting to feel less alone in leadership for their organizations and understanding some of the challenges and some of the solutions that others have approached in the work that they're doing. So even if the organizations are not necessarily coming from the same sector, there's always something to be learned from each other. And what we see in the more cohort-based model is that people are a lot more engaged in the discussion, and they are really willing to show up prepared and support each other through the planning process. So we're really looking forward to seeing how we can apply that from other programs into a strategic planning environment where, they're going to, again, have a self-directed approach. Ultimately, the group is building their own strategic plan. Although this is a self-directed process, that guidance will exist the entire way along, where we're facilitating conversations, we're offering some learning and some tools, but then the coaching, the one-on-one coaching, will help really make sure that any roadblocks that come along the journey are addressed. So every time we come together, we'll be working through a certain topic, and each module will end with a practical toolkit that will help really move the next step forward for the group. In the end, the organizations will have done some level of engagement with their community, whether that's their staff, those they offer service to, or even their community partners. There's some level of engagement. They will conclude the process with a strategic plan in a page. So a simple format that identifies their intended impact, their key priorities, some commitments over the next 3 to 5 years. And they'll have an opportunity to practice even talking about their plan with each other, which doesn't often happen. And ultimately, this becomes a really effective tool for leveraging grants, for getting, ensuring your staff are aligned and you're moving forward with intention. The final piece is an opportunity to really reflect on measurement. So how do you actually measure the impact that you're intending to have through the next number of years? Each module will be facilitated by consultants who facilitate strategic planning all the time. It's what they do most. So they will have many different experiences to draw from while we're in the modules, facilitating the conversation, answering any questions in that capacity. The tools that are going to be provided are the tools essentially we use on an ongoing basis. They're just packaged in a bit of a different way that individuals can take it and run with it on their own. The reason why this is an important next step. We've just navigated a number of years of uncertainty and are still moving through that uncertainty as we come to the other side of the pandemic. Resources are feeling scarce. There's been massive shifts and turnover with leaders in organizations. And I really do believe that it's an opportunity to help build capacity, not only for the senior leader now, but maybe other staff members and board members, so that they can continue the momentum. How do we build that capacity? How do we ensure that we can support organizations at seeing what the future is going to hold in an environment that feels so uncertain? There are a lot of moving pieces, and nobody has a crystal ball. So I think being able to come together and build, have that community building feel while going through this is important.